So I just got done watching Andor Season 2 Episode 6 titled What a Festive Feeling. Although I would personally choose to call it something along the lines of Friendship over with Dedra, now Clea is my best friend. Seriously though, this episode is anything but festive. It's cold, it's bitter, and it ends in one of the coolest, most satisfying moments the show has delivered thus far. So let's get into it. We open on Port Steergard, where Cassian and Luthen are finally in the same room again, and it's immediately clear this reunion isn't going to be a warm one. Cassian has just returned from Gorman, and he's pissed off. The rebels down there aren't ready, they're undisciplined, eager, clumsy, and in Cassian's view, being set up to fail. Which of course they are. They're being baited, he tells Luthen. And Luthen barely even argues. Instead, when Cassian asks him what will happen when it all goes up in flames, Luthen responds without blinking, "Then it'll burn very brightly." It's a chilling line, not just because of what it implies about the Gormans, but because of what it confirms about Luthen. He sees the fire as useful, a symbol, a headline. This is one of those moments where Andor strips away all the rebel romanticism and gets to the ugly heart of things. Revolutions need martyrs, and Luthen, for all his poetry and resolve, is perfectly willing to engineer them. That moment of ideological fracture is what makes this scene so compelling. Cassian isn't rejecting the fight, he's rejecting the cynicism behind it. And it makes sense, he's seen too many people die the wrong way. What he's asking for here isn't peace, it's clarity. A strategy that values the people involved. Anyway, Cassian returns to Bix on Coruscant and discovers that Luthen stopped by while he was away in Gorman, and Cassian goes kind of crazy. I guess because he knows that in this world, no visit is ever casual. Everyone is playing some kind of 3D chess game, and the fact that Luthen approached Bix, who's still fragile and recovering, feels like a deep betrayal. The tension between them escalates, not because they don't care, but because they care so much and can't agree on how to protect each other. This is what Andor does so well. It doesn't just use relationships as background noise. No, it threads them into the fabric of the rebellion itself. This isn't just a lover's spat, it's a reckoning with the emotional toll of living inside a war machine. Cassian storms off and confronts Luthen at the gallery. No signal, no cover, just raw emotion. And what follows is less a debate and more a clash of priorities. Cassian's furious that Luthen went behind his back to speak to Bix, especially knowing how vulnerable she still is. Luthen is someone who's just a bit more focused on the bigger picture. They're kind of both right and both wrong. It's a scene built not on grand ideological opposition, but on frustration, fatigue, and a shared refusal to compromise. These two men are on the same side, but increasingly unable to understand each other. The dynamic is breaking down, and the show is smart enough not to resolve it. Instead, Luthen simply tells Cassian, "Fix it. Sort Bix out, fix your place in this cause, or don't come back." Meanwhile, on Gorman, the heist begins. Now, Andor makes a really interesting choice with its editing here, cutting between two seemingly unrelated threads. The messy rebel operation in the streets, and Clea's delicate spy work inside a lavish gala on Coruscant. On the surface, they couldn't be more different. One is chaotic, hot-tempered, full of panic. The other is refined, wordless, held together by eye contact and coded gestures. But the brilliance lies in how the show mirrors them. Both missions rely on timing, both are balancing on the edge of failure, and both are designed to look small while carrying the weight of something much larger. The Gorman heist, as predicted, goes sideways. The rebels don't follow orders, the mood on the ground is tense and undisciplined, and the decision to bring a blaster despite Vel's instructions ends up changing everything. A scuffle breaks out, a shot goes off, and just like that, Cinta is gone. No slow-mo, no final words. Just 1 second she's there, and the next she's not. It's brutal in its realism, and emotionally devastating. Not just because we liked Cinta, but because of what her death represents. Think about it, she was the most committed, the most ruthless, and arguably the most emotionally compartmentalized. And even she couldn't make it out. Vel's reaction is astonishingly restrained. The scene in the getaway vehicle is maybe the best Faye Marseille's ever been on the show. She doesn't scream, she doesn't break down. She delivers a single monologue, cold and direct to the man responsible. "She was a miracle," she says. "You're taking her with you for the rest of your useless life. It's brutal stuff, man, but the real pain of it is that Vel isn't just talking to him, she's talking to herself, and to all of them. This is the cost. Not just death, but responsibility for death. For choosing to walk into this fight, knowing how it ends. And while all of this is playing out, Clea quietly takes over the whole episode. She's always been this intriguing presence in the background, but this is the first time she really steals the show. The bug extraction scene at Skolden's party, you know, Skolden, is pure Andor espionage. Tense, understated, and meticulously executed. The Tinian Codex, a relic from a planet where sight was considered a disability, is your classic Andor irony and world building. A piece about blindness, while Clea tries to avoid being seen. The writing is sharp, the stakes are immediate, and Elizabeth Dulau gives her best performance yet. Watching her flip between airy art curator and focused rebel agent was really gripping. I also love Mon Mothma here, schooling director Krennic, perhaps to buy Clea more time or perhaps just because she wanted to. I don't know, it's kind of unclear how much she even knows about this mini heist, but it's a great moment nonetheless. Eventually, Clea is able to remove the listening device, getting her hand bloody in the process, and we get this brilliant moment of levity at the end of it all, when her and Luthen are walking away from the gala, and they joke about how they should have just killed Krennic while they had the chance. It's dry, it's cynical, and it's the perfect little release after such a tightly wound sequence. And then we come to the final scene of the episode. Gorst, the soft-spoken sadist who tortured Bix back in season 1, strolls into his office, completely unaware of what's waiting for him. The power of the moment lies in its imbalance. To Bix, he's forgettable. To him, she's barely a memory. That gap is what gets closed here. She straps him in, puts on those headphones, which I assume is like the screaming children, and gives him the line, "It'll only feel like forever." And yeah, this is pure catharsis. It's not heroic exactly, but it is righteous. Andor doesn't frame it with melodrama. Instead, we cut to her and Cassian walking away from the blast site, cool as anything. No dialogue, no turning back. A full-on cool guys don't look at explosions moment, but done in classic Andor fashion. Quiet, deliberate, and deeply earned. Whether this revenge actually helps Bix recover is another question entirely. Trauma doesn't vanish with one act of retribution, but as a story beat, it lands. And if nothing else, it's a reminder that even in a galaxy this dark, sometimes the light comes from the fire you set yourself. And that, my friends, is going to be it for this episode, and for this chapter. We're now officially halfway through season 2 of Andor, and honestly, I think it's going really well. No Prison Break level highs just yet, but what we do have is a steady, sharp, character-driven build-up that's clearly leading somewhere big, and I, for one, am very excited to see where it all leads. But anyway, thanks for watching this review. Have a good May the 4th, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.